Tree is a fingerling about that long between my fingers, say about 25 millimeters, 30 millimeters in size, 1 inch for the American market, and it's grown to that size in less than 2 years. From now on, this fish will grow much more slowly, but it's possible it will get up to 5 or 6 kilos if I keep it long enough. We just better put the poor guy back before he suffers any great drama. They are native to Australia. This particular type of perch is native to Australia, and they grow well in tanks, although jade perch do grow better than silver perch, but they adapt really well to tank culture. They like being in tanks, and they're a very good fish to eat. They're lovely to eat. And in growing them in tanks, disease is almost unknown in homegrown fish. If you look after your water quality and you keep the plants growing nicely, you can be absolutely assured that you'll get fish that's pure and free of all the sorts of nasties that people are talking about and worrying about all the time these days, the fish that comes from the supermarket. At last we have a jade perch. Look at this beautiful fish. Jade perch, one of the characteristics of jade perch is that they have a spot or two randomly on their sides. You can see the black spots here. Sometimes the spots are quite large. See on the other side of the fish, see the spots on them, and see the beautiful jade colour, hence the name, hence the common name, jade perch. See the beautiful colour on them? Now this specimen is about 1.6 kilos in size and very healthy and really should be on a barbecue plate. But whoops, he got away. Jade perch, quite coincidentally, the CSIRO a number of years ago did studies on these fish and found the jade perch have the highest concentration of omega-3 fatty acids of any fish in the world, and that's just absolutely amazing, because there we have a freshwater species growing in central Queensland, and it's absolutely loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. So my choice of fish to grow is jade perch for that very reason. They're a beautiful fish to grow. They adapt exceptionally well to tank culture. They grow quite uniformly in size in tanks, and in 12 months from a little tiny fingerling you'll have fish that are 800 grams to a kilo, which is termed to be plate size. It'll be a bit hard to catch them here, but we'll see if we can catch one. Yep, some Murray cod. Here we go. Beautiful Murray cod. Aren't they a pretty fish? We've got about 150 Murray cod in this tank, and these Murray cod were fingerlings in January this year, so they're now in their 9th month. So they've been through winter, they haven't grown much during winter, but now the spring is here, they will start to grow quite rapidly, and we expect another 6 months we'll have beautiful plate sized Murray cod here. Our tank and fish tank system here is really good for batching your fish. A lot of people wonder, how can I get the next batch of fish started? Because oftentimes if you put smaller fish in with bigger fish, depending on the species, the smaller fish will be eaten. For example, with barramundi that would happen, with Murray cod that would happen. The bigger fish would eat the smaller fish. So with our fingerling tank that we have here sitting atop our main fish tank, this is a 250 litre or around about 70 or 80 gallon tank. And when our fish down the bottom here are half grown, they're about the 6 or 7 month stage, we'll then get another batch of fingerlings and we'll put them here in our fingerling tank. And the water is fed back from our grow beds behind me, and it's pumped partly into the fish tank and partly into the fingerling tank above. So we've got they're sharing the same water, the same temperature, the same amount of nutrient, everything is working fine, and yet we've got another batch of fish. When we've consumed all these ones, we've taken them out and we've used them, we then transfer these fish down and we then get another batch of fish to be coming up along behind that. So that's how you can have a continuous flow of protein for you and your family coming through your aquaponics system. This is our nursery tank for sleepy cod. You see we have over 100 sleepy cod in this tank. They're little tiny fellows. These came from the hatchery about a month ago as well. So they will be a year to get to the same size as the ones in the other tank, and 2 years before they're ready to eat. I'll just move these plants back out of the way. And we look in here, this is our sleepy cod tank. We have in here 125 sleepy cod. As you can see by the name, they're lying around having a sleep. Let's see if I can catch one here for you. Here we go, beautiful sleepy cod. Now this fish is exactly 1 year old. They're slow growing, they don't grow very fast. Whoops, he got away. But I am told that they are the best eating fish on the face of the planet. Okay, be nice. Open your big mouth and show everyone what a big mouth you've got. There we go, look at that mouth. Sleepy cod are known in Asia as the marbled cobia fish, and they're highly prized as an eating fish. It's said that they are the best of all the freshwater species for a table fish, and I'm yet to find that out. Yet they take about 2 years to get to plate size, which is said to be from 800 grams to a kilo in size. So that's the sleepy cod, and as you can see by their habit, they just lay around all day sleeping. They're a tropical fish, so you need to keep the water heated during winter months, up to at least 18 degrees for them to continue to eat and grow, and then in the summertime of course they'll take off even more, and by December 09 we'll have some wonderful barbecues, some sleepy cod barbecues. We need to consider what fish is most suitable for your area. Obviously in Australia we have a great range of climate from far north Queensland right down to the southern states, and not all fish are suitable for all areas. And it's a bit difficult if you try and raise a tropical fish in Melbourne, for example. Obviously you're going to have heating problems, and vice versa, if you try and raise a fish that's native to the southern states in North Queensland, you'll have cooling problems. So it's best to choose a fish that's pretty much native to your area if you can. In Australia we've got a wide variety of really good Australian native fish that we can use. And the first one I want to talk about is jade perch. It's actually my favourite fish because over a period of time I've tried all sorts of fish and I keep coming back to jade perch. Jade perch are very hardy, they grow well in tanks, they're really well adapted to tanks. They will eat, pellets or worms or African fly larvae, black soldier fly larvae, really to raise them easily. They're really a Brisbane North fish, or let's say a central New South Wales North kind of fish, because they're native to the Barcoo River system and they're kind of semi-tropical. So if you're any further south than that, you'll need to heat the fish tank in winter, and that can become expensive. Silver perch is really native to most of the east coast of Australia from the north to the south, and it's a very hardy fish. It's really a good beginner's fish. It's pretty hard to kill silver perch actually, and they grow reasonably well in tanks. They don't grow as well as jade perch. You have a greater variety in size. Some don't grow very much, others grow well. But for home consumption, they're pretty hard to beat silver perch. And you can get them from hatcheries from Melbourne right through to central Queensland. So silver perch is a really good one to start with. Murray cod are becoming more readily available now from hatcheries all over Australia. And they really are a fish that's from medium water to cold water. For example, say Brisbane South is a good area to raise Murray cod. Murray cod don't mind if the water gets down to let's say 5 degrees C. They'll survive that quite well without heating, and they'll still continue to feed. But if the water gets up to 30 degrees C, you'll have deaths with Murray cod. Now Murray cod, the disadvantage with them is they're a bit like our friends barramundi. They tend to like eating each other, although not to the same extent as barramundi, and they seem to have just unexplained deaths as you go along. The batch that I'm raising now, I started off with 200, and I'm probably down to about 150, and the other 50 have just died for no real apparent reason. The water quality is good, all the parameters are great, but we have some deaths. We're yet to learn more about raising Murray cod in tanks. Now sleepy cod come from North Queensland. They're a tropical to semi-tropical fish, and they will require heating in winter. They're very temperature sensitive in the sense that they go right off their food, and they are susceptible to disease if they're in cold water. I have found that they don't die if the water gets down to say 15 or 12 degrees C, but they certainly don't feed, and they certainly don't do very well. The old favourite barramundi, people always ask me, can I raise barramundi? Of course you can, but barramundi are very much a warm water fish, so I wouldn't attempt barramundi really unless I was from say Brisbane North or central New South Wales North. But the big drawback with barramundi is that they're a bit hard to raise for the home grower because they have this bad habit of eating each other. So you need to grade them regularly, in other words try and keep all the sizes the same, because fish just don't grow at the same rate. You'll get one fellow that's the pig of the pack, as we say, and he'll get most of the food and he'll grow more rapidly. And then unfortunately with barramundi, as soon as he's a little bit bigger than some of the other guys, he sees them as breakfast. And so you'll experience a lot of losses with barramundi unless you're prepared to have multiple tanks and you're prepared to grade them.